Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs podcast? Welcome to the Chiefs Blitz podcast, brought to you by ChiefsBlitz.com, your top source for Chiefs news. Our podcast is produced by BowTie Sports and hosted by Nick Athan, Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, Hense, Todd, and special contributor, Fox 4 sports reporter and anchor, Harold Kuntz. Please like and subscribe to our show. Now let's talk Kansas City Chiefs football.
That's right, gang. Here we are. Merry Grinchmas. Merry Grinchmas. It's the day after. I hope everybody had a great Christmas, got all the gifts that you wanted, because certainly Mr. Clark Hunt is in the crosshairs of some mean signage at the stadium. My goodness. Kansas came across with the Godfather offer. We've already covered this, but hey, who is Clark to refuse? So anyway, there's our gang here. It's just me and Hense today. We got the producer and the I guess court jester, if you would, of the show. So we're ready. Hense, how was your Christmas?
It was great. I got some gifts from the kids, some cologne. My son bought me some Xbox games. The wife got me an electric guitar. So I will be going back.
All right.
So I'll be going back into Funk Town with that, learning all over. I know how to play, but I just don't. I didn't play in a while.
Well, we do have about a 10-second dead spot at the end of the new intro. That could be perfect for a little guitar solo. I'm just saying, hey, just my suggestion, doing a little producing myself here. But anyway, yeah, this may have been the greatest gift of all time right here.
Oh, shoot. Who
Run
gave
it
you
back, that? Chiefs. I don't know if that patch 15 and 10. So I don't know if that's Tyreek. This might be a little older. But anyway, yeah, run it back, Chiefs. There's a little bit of a glare there, but yeah, there's a number 15 and a number 10. So that could be Pops. It could be Tyreek and a couple of fans on the outside there. But yeah, run it back, little people. Let's go.
So who was that from?
Youngest daughter got me that. A Marvel sweatshirt. You've seen me with some of the Marvel gear with Love You 3000 and such. So yeah, it was a good day had by all. And there was a game at night. There was a gamer. The Chiefs played, and this may have been I don't know how people. It's been so long since you're going into a game knowing that it's meaningless in the standings. And I say in the standings because it's not meaningless to the players. Every single one of those guys, God bless them. I don't care what the record is or whatever. You have to go out there. You're a professional. You're getting paid to play and play hard. And not just that, you're trying to, secure your position on on this team or maybe a different team for next season. So you don't want to be out there kind of half-assing it. So I thought they played really hard. There's a lot of comments out there about this plan and this play calling. Come on, man. I mean, they played their asses off. They played the potential number 1 seed in the AFC playoffs to the fourth quarter. They had a chance to tie it up at the end. Maybe I'm imagining if they get that touchdown there at the end, he's going for 2 and just saying the hell with it. We're gonna end it right here. But I thought they righted themselves very well. And then you had the added potential emotion of Travis's last game at Arrowhead, and we'll get into that in just a minute. Right now, we want to talk about our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy Sports. Yes, we've been talking about it all season. We're glad to have these guys as sponsors. You see the new customers inducement, if you would, there. So you play 5, you get 100 in bonus tries. It's a great game. It's really easy. You make your own numbers. You can slide it up or down. That'll adjust your odds. But it's really a cool game. pick out the players that you like, pick up the teams that you like, however you want to play it, and you have an opportunity to win. On top of that, if we get up to 100 new subscribers from beginning back, I think like 3 or 4 weeks ago, maybe 5 weeks ago to the end of the season, that one of those names will be drawn to win this. I'm not going to say 1450. This priceless football signed by a bunch of Chiefs Hall of Famers, Emmett Thomas, Len Dawson, Willie Lanier. Who else is in there? Bobby Bell, Johnny Robinson. So these are just iconic names of this franchise, and you have an opportunity to win that ball. I mean, the $5 is worth it, just to go for the raffle. But the other piece of it is you might win a few bucks. And with these somewhat meaningless games here at the end, you get an opportunity to just pick out some other players on other teams and watch some other games and have a rooting interest. So a lot of fun. Yeah. Use the promo code, choose wisely, and choose responsibly. So
responsibly, you got to play responsibly. Also, you want to thank welcome Sam, man. Welcome back, Sam. Sam Perez.
We were worried about you, Sam.
Also, coach in the chats, Ruben Sinclair, Ken Sinclair, and thank you all you guys for joining on X, Facebook, and YouTube as well. So, hey, man, it was some crazy signs that we've seen out there at the stadium. We'll get later in that today. But other than that, man, we got Factor Cap that's lined up for Friday. What do you have for us today?
Yeah, it is Friday, and we have a smaller crew, so it may not hit the way it normally does, but I'm going to bring the juice. And everybody in the chat, please, hey, sit in for the guys that aren't here, Nick and Coach. And give us your opinion. Is the statement that I read a fact, or do you believe it's all fact? So, those of you that aren't familiar with the second greatest game on YouTube, Factor Cap, I will read a couple of statements, and they will include one about the Chiefs, the others about other teams in the NFL and things that are happening around the league. And you can decide, is that statement true, false? Is it fact or is it cap? Doo-doo, caca, crap, if you would. Fact or crap. Maybe that'll be a new segment, Hense. Let's work on that. All right, so here we go. I mean, there's always, it seems like drama I know there's always drama in Philadelphia, but you go down 95 a bit, and Baltimore it seems like it's been that way like the last few years, and it all centers around Lamar Jackson. His availability has been inconsistent at best. Strange injuries during the week, illnesses just pop out of the blue. Allegedly, a story came out. I don't know if it was the Baltimore Sun or one of the news outlets in the area. It's one of the locals, allegedly late night gaming for Lamar, falling asleep in meetings. I mean, it's just a lot of drama. And you can't help but think, all the crap that was happening around the first, extension, the new contract that he got from his rookie deal. So I started thinking and hey, here's the statement. Lamar does not get another contract from the Ravens franchise. This is it. Fact or cap? Hensley.
I would say there will be cap. I think the coach is going to be on his way out far, sooner than Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson is going to be he's their guy. He's a MVP, multiple MVPs. Falling asleep in meetings, gambling. I don't know if that's if that's just a rumor on.
Not gambling, gaming. Kind of. He's probably playing with Kyler.
So, yeah, falling asleep in meetings, that's no good for your leader to be doing. Up all night playing Ninja Turtles or whatever you're playing.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think he'll stay there. I think Jim Hardball is going to be on his way out. So I have to say there will be a cap. If you in the chat and you agree, put cap.
Bring it. You use your own minds, gang. I think it's a fact. Lamar is angling his way. This has kind of got Tyreek vibes to it. He's angling his way back to Miami. He wants to play there. They're going to need a quarterback, obviously. You know, Tua, I think he's seen his last days. Now, I don't know how that would work. I mean, salary cap wise, it would just be ridiculous because they owe Tua so much money. But it just seems, like something. It's just weird. It just seems every week there's a weird injury or an illness. And these illnesses they never describe it. You catching a cold during the week? Does he have allergy? What's happening here? Are there doctors there that can kind of help him with this stuff? So I don't know. It just seems all too weird. And it seems like the Ravens, they're ready for a reset. Whether Harbaugh goes or not, I think Lamar might be close behind him out the door. So here we go. Number 2. Of course, and this is kind of a revisit. We may have hit this once before, but we're a few games into the Shedeur Sanders project in Cleveland now. And I guess there's been like some mixed results. I mean, if you're a stats guy, and this is right up Coach's alley, so I'm gonna go for it. 6 TDs, 8 picks, 55% completion percentage, which is about 10% lower than in this NFL you're really expected to have just as like a starting point, and he's well below that. His best game was against Tennessee. Now they lost the game, but he threw for like 364 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, yada, yada, yada. But they do lose the game. Played fairly well against Las Vegas. They won that one, but he only threw for 200 yards, a little over 200 yards. Again, 55%, 1-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. He's 1-4 overall. So I think there's something there I think that they have to work on. But the statement is this: Shedeur has done enough to be considered the number 1 in Cleveland for next season. Fact or cap?
I would say that would be cap. I don't think he done enough. You know what I mean? I'm rooting for the kid. I think he probably going to be on another team next year. I don't think he's going to be in a Browns uniform. They got, they picking high in the draft. They got multiple draft picks. So I think they're going to, try to group up in the game. We'll get them a quarterback. So I just say, there'll be a cap. I don't think, his welcome is not there. If the coach still there, I would say no. If the coach is not there, I would say yes. But the coach is still there, and it seems like they're going to hold on to him. So, he really wasn't want to try to pick him in the first place. So I would say there'll be no. I think he want to tie his hands to his own guy.
Yeah, another organization that is, well, I shouldn't say another one. This is one of the more unique organizations in the NFL, and unique isn't a good thing in this case because it just seems like they're all over the place. They went all in on analytics. Got a baseball guy in there to really run that piece. He ends up leaving after a couple of years. He goes back to baseball. But you still have kind of an analytics mindset with the GM that's currently there, and Andrew Berry. They got their own first round pick that's going to be the top 10, probably top 5. They've got Jacksonville's first round pick, much lower, but they can kind of use that to maybe move up if they need to. Do they like any of the quarterbacks that are on the board? I don't know. But either way, whether they're going for another guy or not, I'm with you. I think this is cap. I don't think Shedeur has shown enough. Now, again, it's a small sample size, but he's still kind of fighting some of those things that were his demons at Colorado in the first place. He does drift a lot in the pocket, takes sack. Again, he's cut down on it, and maybe he's on the right track, but he's still kind of, we talk about Patrick. What do you lean on when it gets into a frenetic moment? A lot of times it's what's helped you in the past. And he's been able to get away with that a little bit in college, but it just did not happen in the NFL. So it'll be interesting to see which way the Browns go here, because it seems like all they do is churn through quarterbacks. Maybe he does need to go somewhere else, but I don't think he's shown nearly enough to say he's definitely the guy. So we'll see what happens in that space. Anybody out there in the chat? It looks like we've got a newbie in YouTube. Kevin Capel, 3615. Kevin Stefanski's a 2-time coach of the year, having never won his own division Someone needs to explain this. Yes, it is the Cleveland Browns. That's not a real explanation, Kevin, but we do appreciate the comment. Thanks for being on YouTube. Hopefully you subscribe as well. Tell your friends and continue to comment as you see fit. But Stefanski is well thought of in the league, or it certainly seems that way. And I think if he does get fired, he will be up for 1 or 2 jobs, depending on how many open up. Usually it's 7 or 8 at the end of the season. He will definitely go to close to the head of the line, I believe, if he does get fired. So, all right, finally, of course, we will come to the Chiefs statement, and there's so many different ways you can go with it, but I'll just simply put it this way. Clark Hunt may have gotten away with the largest robbery in U.S. history with the deal that he got from the state of Kansas. Fact or cap? Hensley.
I'd just say that would be a fact.
That's a good that's a great likeness there, isn't it?
Yeah, I say that'd be a fact. a lot of fans are upset right now. You know what I mean? Hey, I was including upset, but hey, if I'm Clark, you know what I mean? You know, and somebody offer me that much, I can't turn it down. I can't turn it down. I understand Sam. I understand everybody else. I understand John, but I can't turn it down. But hey, this sign I seen yesterday, you know what I mean, when I was watching the game, I say Amazon, you know, went through it a little bit, then hurry up and took it away. I was like, oh, I'm going to hope somebody posted. And I found it. They said, you're a greedy one, Mr. Hunt. And I think he was. He went to go get the money. Hey, that's just like the Powerball, right, Luke? The Powerball is the highest number right now. If they give you the number and say, hey, these are the winning numbers, no, we giving it to you. Take it and play them. I'm taking them and play them. I'm going all in. I'm taking and play them. So what you got to say, Luke?
Well, wait a sec. Come on. Ken's like sticking up for the billionaire owner cap. He's sticking $1 billion of his own money in. Yeah, but the state is sticking in like $3 billion and building all sorts of other stuff that they're going to be able to reap the benefits of, but not necessarily putting, not investing as much as the state. So yeah, hey, the state they're going all in, and for a state that doesn't have pro sports, this is really all they can do, because you're not going to see any league running to expand into the state of Kansas, right? I mean, that's just not a thing. So here's their one shot. They're taking it, and Clark said, "Hey, baby, let's do this." There's at least 10 other owners in the NFL right now that is looking at this saying, why the hell can't we get a deal like that? But just a unique situation, being, a border state, so close, that, you're still going to have the same fan base for the most part. You're going to have some pissed off Missourians that just say the hell with them, greedy bastards. So, yeah, whatever.
We'll get what John said, Luke.
All right, so John Harrison, by the way, the backed into the winner of the Chief Who contest this year. Just kidding, John. Of course, you were stellar in your performance. Four wins throughout the year. Jackson County residents have funded both teams, making money for 50 years. They should still get first rights to buy tickets in the new dome. And who knows how they work all that out. Just the way things are looking is that they're going to make everything as fair as they possibly can, and try to show the fact that they're actually giving back to Kansas as well. So we'll see. And coach, of course, shooting from the hip, from whereabouts unknown, yet here he is coming up with his buzzwords. There's really never any explanation. It's just some buzzword, and we're supposed to wonder what that means. Yeah, it's about marketing. It's about money. It's about money, making more money, right? Yeah, let's go.
Money. So, hey, before we close out our factor cap,
well, you didn't win the last one, John. That's all. You're the Green Bay Packers of the Chief Who competition.
Before we close out our factor cap, I have one for you, Luke.
Let's go.
Would it be factor cap that Indiana next year or in the years coming would have 2 NFL teams in their state. They got the Colts. The Chicago Bears are looking to locate over there to Indiana, with the Colts over there in Indianapolis as well. So will we see that happen? Will we see the Colts, the Chicago Bears move?
That's a tough one. I'm just going to say right now, cap, because I hope that does happen, that the people of Illinois and so forth, they can work something out with the Bears. I mean, that would just be a shame for them to move. I mean, just Chicago and Illinois. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is somewhat the same, but there's already a pro team in that state. I could see if Kansas already had a pro team, I don't think Clark would even think about it. But, yeah, I'm going to have to say cap on that one and just hope like hell that the people of Illinois can get this all worked out with the Bears and figure it out.
Will Missouri come in and swoop the Chicago Bears? We don't know. Will they come in and swoop?
That would be an interesting move because they've shown no ability or even, I don't know, even like the want to as far as trying to get or keep a professional sports team. I mean, the St. Louis Cardinals, I think they're really the only ones that have stuck through it and never really threatened to move or anything like that. So would be interesting for sure.
The Missouri Bears.
Yeah.
That's what Dre said. So with that said, Fact the Cat brought to you by Underdog.
That's right.
You can play now 5 for get 100. Hey, we welcome all you guys in. Thank you guys for joining in on the show today. Hey, we got a lot to get into, but that statement there, there's something really to think about. Would the Indians have 2 teams over there, 2 NFL teams? The Colts said they will welcome them over. They said they'll welcome over there. They'll love to have them over there. But if I'm Missouri, I'm seeing all this. Somebody already came in a backdoor me. It took me across the state. I'm coming in like, hey, Chicago Bears, we're going to offer you this week deals. We got our own state bonds. You know what I mean? So they're going to offer you this.
Yeah, if they had that, Hense, I think they would have offered it to the Chiefs. I have no idea. I mean, what Indiana is, what package they're offering the Bears, because it seemed like in the Arlington Heights or wherever they're looking to build like an entire little city, pretty much what's happening in Kansas with the Chiefs, what the Browns look like they're going to be doing in Cleveland. They've got their lakefront stadium. It's not an old stadium, but they want to move to the suburbs, put it in shops, hotels, casino, whatever, all the same stuff that you're hearing about in Kansas. So if Indiana's looking to do that, that would be a ballsy move. It really would.
I kind of went back and looked at all of it. I was like, well, it's kind of looked like the NFL is moving away from the cities, and they building their own cities around it, like Jerry Jones. You know what I mean? And it's kind of looking like everybody.
I guess I think some of the teams that realize what the downtown stadium does for them, like Atlanta, like New Orleans. But then, like some of the bigger cities, it's hard to build a new stadium unless there's plenty of space. I mean, you saw, SoFi is built in Inglewood, which is a suburb of LA, and LA is pretty spread out anyway. But yeah, Pittsburgh, it's right there, at the confluence of the 3 rivers. There's plenty of city stadiums, but I think once you get into trying to like build almost like a small village or like a small city, then you have to go where there's space, and that's what we're doing. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
So let's get into the questions.
John, what if the Browns moved to Erie? My goodness, what an upheaval that would be. I don't know that Erie's big enough. I think Green Bay and Erie's about the same size. Yeah, would the fans be pissed? I think there's more Browns fans in Cleveland than there are in Erie, although there are a ton in Erie and the surrounding area. I mean, it would be weird, they would have to build, some infrastructure here in terms of more hotel space, more everything that an NFL team would. But it certainly would be neat. I'm sure the Steeler fans here would be pissed.
So with that said, let's get into the questions of the day.
So last ride. Was this the last ride for Travis Kelce? Last game in Arrowhead, all the emotions, everything that Prime was trying to put out there, that everybody was trying to put out there, and that Travis actually, there were some moments where it looked like he was taking a little bit longer of a moment than he has in the past, but he explained it afterwards. But you can't help but think maybe that was it. I mean, even, you got Patrick sitting up in the box, Taylor showed up, and it was, everything comes to an end. Nobody wants it to end, but you're at a great party. You don't want it to end. You're at a great game. You don't want it to end. You've got these guys, playing. They're your heroes. They've done so much for the franchise. You want them to play forever, and they just can't. And no matter how you script it, it's never going to be that perfect. It's only happened a couple of times. Ray Lewis, they win the Super Bowl in his last game. Peyton Manning,
right.
There's been a few, but I think in my mind, I think that was Travis's last home game.
I think it was his last home game. You know what I mean? And if I'm Kansas City, Missouri, you lost the Chiefs. You get a big statue, you put it in front of Arrowhead Stadium, make it Kelce Stadium. You make it a Hall of Fame for Travis Kelce. And put him with the arrow doing like this, in front of it with the arrow on. And you got Travis Kelce there. Because all the history moments of Travis Kelce was made in Arrowhead. It's not going to be made in the Dome. It was all made in the cold, the brutal games. It was there on Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce made, the fan base even bigger. Even brought in Taylor Swift, right? He brought in Taylor Swift brought in more fans. So if this is the last game, and my favorite game, I didn't get to post it out there yesterday, but my favorite game was when he came back when I seen him in his rookie year. I was like, who was this guy? It was against the Cleveland Browns. He broke, I think it was not the Browns, but the Bengals, and he broke that long run off. And I was like, hey, who was this guy running like this? They say it was a tight end. Then he tore it, messed up his knee and he came back. But hey, if this is his last ride in Kansas City, man, we gotta do something special here. It will always be Travis Kelce's Arrowhead. It always will be his stadium. It's always will be his way, because he brought back joy back into the Chiefs kingdom at the tight end position. Last time we had a great tight end was Tony Gonzalez. We thought Tony Moriarty was going to be something, right? We all thought it. I know we all thought it. We all thought Tony Moriarty was going to come out.
Hey, he's an Iowa. He was an Iowa tight end. I mean, Dallas Clark. It was supposed to be after Dallas Clark was Tony Moriarty, and he did show some signs, but it never really panned out. Did it?
It never panned out. I was like, man, I think Tony Moriarty was going to be something, but you know what I mean. It could be the last time we've seen Travis Kelce, before the game. He said something after the game. He said if he win the lotto, he win a jackpot.
Yeah, well, I think he already won that one. Yeah, so he's done all right.
He said a lot of people went into that as well. So somebody said who was the tight end between Gonzalez and Kelce? I don't think there was one. I think Travis came in as Tony was going out, because when they did draft him, I think it was around the same time they traded Tony to Atlanta for a second round pick. Pioli took all sorts of grief for it and so on. But I think later on there may have been somebody in between that started, because Travis didn't start immediately as a rookie. It was Tony Moriarty, was it?
I don't know. I don't recall exactly because even Moriarty, he really wasn't like a solidified full-time starter. I mean, he would like come in occasionally, but like Jason Dunn was in there somewhere. So
yeah, we'll see. All right, but let's get to the next question, Luke.
All right. So did Chris Oladokun do enough on Christmas to secure a 2026 roster spot?
I don't think so. You know what I mean? The first half, I know it's against the Broncos. He had 35 yards. I know it's practice squad guys out there at 2 tackles. You know what I mean? Your right and left tackle. But you know what I mean? He was here. He got 2 rings with the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, we've been here 4 years, going on 5. You know what I mean? I think it was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers, was he? Or somewhere.
Yep.
You know, drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers and let go. I think he's going to have to battle it out. I know it's going to be some young guys that's going to be coming off other rosters. There's going to be out there that could come in and take this like second string or third string quarterback spot. But I didn't see enough. Maybe I had to see what's going to happen with the Raiders and that game, the last game. You know what I mean? You see what he actually can do. But I haven't seen enough out of. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell. I mean, the defensive game plan, the offensive game plan were both very conservative. They didn't want to put him really at risk or really trying to make any like small window throws or anything like that. The defense even played conservatively. So I don't know that you can really look at this as like a real test. What you want to look at is, hey, did he look the part? Was he able to make some plays? And he did. And obviously he's probably a bunch that he wants back. Probably missed a few throws, made a few here and there, but nothing that there was anything that you watched and said, wow, okay, we can work with that. I mean, it was very conservative. So he is not going to be the backup next season. He will be fighting for that practice squad spot that he's been fighting for since he's been here. But evidently he and Patrick are very tight. That doesn't always mean much, you know, in terms of whether they keep him or not, but I think they like him. You know, having that much time in the system, whether most of the reps being mental reps behind Patrick in practice at camps, OTAs. Now, Patrick won't be participating in OTAs this year. We don't think. I mean, you never know with Patrick. You know, I know like all the internet doctors out there will be telling us that there's no chance he's at whatever. Okay, that's cool. But, you know, they will have him, and maybe they keep, Bouchel around as the practice squad guy in the offseason. I really don't know. But they're part of the 90-man because there is no practice squad at that point. So anyway, no, I don't think he's a guy that you look at and say, wow, this guy could be a potential starter in the NFL.
Sam said, how did Andy let this happen, keeping trash to back up Patrick Mahomes? I mean, he's out there. He said he keep it. Ain't nobody out there. He said no young guy that's out there is going to actually step up the challenge, the throne of Patrick Mahomes. I think that's where you go.
Well, it's not a matter of letting it happen. One, you never forecast Patrick to have a season-ending injury, even that late into the year, nor do you forecast your backup. These things happen. How many legitimate, NFL caliber quarterbacks are there in the world, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think there's 32. I mean, there's probably, there's some that you get to like the end. If you look at the bottom half of the league or the bottom quarter of the league, all those teams are looking for somebody. There's a handful of backups that can play. How many third string guys are there that can come in? I mean, did you watch Minnesota yesterday, Sam? Did you see they won the game, but it wasn't like Max Brosmer was throwing it all over the yard. I think he had like 40 yards passing or something like that. It was their defense that won it for him. So it wasn't something that Andy let happen. It's just, hey, some years you go through a bunch of quarterbacks. I mean, we just talked about the Browns. They've been looking for one guy for 25 years, at least. So anyway, yeah, I mean, if you have somebody in mind that's out there that's that you think would be better than the guys they have, bring them on. Let's go.
John, answer your question there. Somebody questioned.
Okay, so Moyaki, Leonard Pope. Yeah, there's like a rotation. And Tony he had the athletic ability, and you figure because what came before him and after him as Iowa tight ends has been pretty decent, right? And he had, it looked like the physical skills to do it. and it just he can never put it together consistently. But he was a guy that would make a play that would say, oh my God, if he could kind of replicate this. It just never happened.
Never happened. So let's get to the next question, Luke.
Thanks for the update, John. All right, at 6-10, is this officially the rock bottom of the Andy Reid era?
I think so, man. I think this is the rock bottom of it's a tender in Kansas City. 6-10. I know when Holmes went down, or I said, they didn't have a chance to make the playoffs. I was like, hey, tank it away. And now we're seeing guys going IR, Rasheed Rice, the other guys a lot of starters going on IR, saving them for next year. And now they putting out guys out there to see, okay, we see you in practice squad. We see you do this, do that. This is your time to get that practice, the shine. Bossa looked good out there. Bossa, number 31, he looked good out there at Sam linebacker.
Didn't get nearly the snaps that I thought he would, because he did play, it seemed like, and then they threw McDonald in there, 59. I mean, he seems like a really good special teamer, but he got a lot more defensive snaps in the second half than I thought, that Bossa might kind of at least split him with him, but at least he got out there.
Yeah, but I think this is the lowest, the rock bottom of any weird era, and this is going to have to depend on what they do next. What you say, Luke?
Yeah, well, I don't think it matters what they do next. I mean, we're just, this is certainly it. Worst record that he's had. You've got, a bunch of questions being thrown around about the staff, hell, about him. One of the most decorated coaches of our lifetime, well, at least of the most recent, last 25 years in the NFL. And he's being questioned as far as the game slipped him by and all these other things. Can they stand a refresh on the coaching staff? Yeah, I mean, most teams can, especially after a long period of sustained success. After a while, some of the message can get a little stale and so forth. So, hey, you want to inject some, infuse some enthusiasm, maybe some guys coming from other, other systems that, have different ideas and how to do things. And maybe that'll like invigorate Patrick a little bit more. Again, he doesn't need it, but I think anything new would get his brain working and get him like fired up about learning some new stuff and trying to improve. But yeah, I don't think there's any question this is the rock bottom. Now, the good news is that it's not like a team that is bereft of talent. There's plenty of talent on the team to build around, but it is an adjustment period. We always knew that this transition was going to come. It seemed to, maybe last year they kind of put it off because they won a bunch of games and got to the Super Bowl, but it really wasn't anything they could do in season. Maybe it was that off season that maybe some moves that they were thinking about making that might be some growing pains if they had made, like, wait, we'll prolong this a bit. And then they won all those one-score games and like, oh my God, the number one seed, we made the Super Bowl again. We might win 3 in a row and everything was great. And now all of a sudden, all those fans that thought, maybe this is a really good thing is now it's like, oh, all that sucks. We need new coaches. The GM is why. I mean, he all his drafts are horrible and all this other stuff. So you just have to take it as it comes. There's really nothing else that you can do. Obviously, they have to plan and do things for the future, but here we are. This is the transition period for Patrick's career. Roster turnover, some guys, getting, maybe their play is slipping, some are going to be retiring. So you have to, hopefully these draft picks that you made step up, and we just haven't, it hasn't happened in a big way. They've made contributions, but none of them have stepped up to be like game changers or guys that you can hang your hat on and be stars of the future. These are guys, but none of them are stars. So that's where you have to kind of figure, okay, Xavier Worthy, does he have it? I mean, within him to reach his full athletic potential. There's just things that are so infuriating. I get it. It was only one play, but you're a professional wide receiver in the NFL. You know that you are inside that red line. You're going to be pretty damn close to the boundary. You got to find a way to stay in bounds, catch the ball, and get upfield. It's just little things like that you see, like, okay, he's able to get himself open or whatever, but it's like, okay, you have to finish. It's not enough just to make that part of the play. Is he better than McCole? Okay, he played injured. Okay, we can say that, keeps him, but he's out there. He's healthy enough to be out there. That he's not injured, I hope. So anyway, that's one guy that you spent a first round pick on to say, okay, is this guy ever going to be a Pro Bowler? If he's not, you made a mistake, and you just have to kind of move on with it. But I think if he can, he has a lot of potential, but he has to want it, and that's the thing that you wonder sometimes, because he just kind of is out there, kind of go along to get along. I mean, you just have to try to stand out somehow, and he just seems to, when those opportunities come, something is just a little bit off, and it's frustrating. But he's not the only one. I mean, obviously the guys from the Trent McDuffie's class, none of them have really become great players.
Now that gets to our next question. You know what I mean? With the playoffs gone, who is the number one draft target for the 2020 overhaul? Who is that guy? You know what I mean? And some people say Love, some people say Tate. Who will be that guy for you, Lou? And before you even answer that question, we're gonna bring in the scenario. We're gonna
where are the gold jackets? Where's the gold jacket list? That's all we need.
Well, what we gonna do here, Lou? We're gonna do a flash mock, a flash mini mock. You know what I mean? To bring it in here, bring it on board for you, Lou. There you go. Right now we pause at number 4. You know what I mean? The Chiefs are picking at number 10. You know what I mean? If the Chiefs, I'm gonna resume the draft. We're gonna do a little flash mock here. Something fast, something quick.
Slow down. Go up to number where we're at. I mean, who are the guys? Who did the other guys choose?
Hold on, let me see. The other guys is on the board that got chose. Go ahead.
So number 1, Arvell Reese. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, the Giants kind of full of rushers, but why not another? Dante Moore, the quarterback from Oregon. I could see that. Sure. Caleb Downs. I mean, Browns have drafted amazingly. This last draft, they had a really good draft. Now you throw in arguably the best defensive player in this draft to that mix. That's a good pick. Jordan Tyson, I think we talked about maybe his availability. He's been injury prone, but again, amazing talent. Keldrick Falk, this is kind of one of those players that you either love him or you don't. You really don't. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes. Jeremiah Love goes 6. Wow. Okay. And then Tate at 7 to the Commanders. And then who do we have next? 8. You've got Tennessee takes Mekhi Lemon. They call him a slot receiver, but he's so much more than that. But I think it's just his stature, but tough as nails. This could be like this year's Emeka Egbuka, JSN from a few years ago. I mean, these Ohio State dudes. So that's a bit. And then Delone, to me, he may be the best corner in this draft. Not a flashy guy, very fundamentally sound. I mean, he reminds you a little bit of Surtain, where it's not flash, but it's just so damn on point that he's always where he's supposed to be. Doesn't typically get beat deep on plays, and so that's probably a really good pick for the Bengals. Anything they can add to that defense is perfect. Okay, so who are we looking at here for the Chiefs? We look at
if you go off the board,
I'm not going off of that. Okay, I'm not even looking at that. Okay, so coming into this season and just watching the games, Reuben Bain looks like an amazing player. They're worried about his arm length and so forth, whatever. Couple of quarterbacks up there. Obviously, the Chiefs aren't going to go for a quarterback. If I'm just looking at guys that I've highlighted, I think now again, by this time you will have gone through free agency and the like, but we don't have the luxury of that at this point. So, couple of offensive linemen, Francis Mauigoa from Miami. Now they think he might transition inside and he'd be a better guard than a tackle. So I don't know if the Chiefs go in that direction unless they believe that he'd be a better right tackle than Juwan Taylor. If they believe he can play right tackle and he's better than Juwan Taylor, that's your pick right there.
Mm-hmm.
Solidify, complete. Now that offensive line looks pretty damn good from end to end in my mind. If they don't believe that, you've got Woods from Clemson that I like a lot, but it seemed like he had a much better season last year than he did this year. Now, I don't know. That could have a lot to do with just the fact that Clemson had an off year or what the deal is, but the scouts will have to decide that. I'm sure he would be in consideration at that point. If they do move off of McDuffie, right, there's a couple of other corners out there. You got McCoy from Tennessee. He could be the pick there. There was another guy. There's another the other edge rusher at Miami. His name escapes me right now. He wasn't on my initial list, but watching him against Texas A&M, that dude's a player. So if Harrison, you're out there, you're Mr. Research, the opposite edge rusher for the Miami Hurricanes, find him. That could be a possibility for the Chiefs as well. And then the one that you're not going to like, Hensley. And I don't think they would take a tight end in the top 10. But I'm telling you, Sadiq from Oregon is that guy. He's the one that would be closest to Tyler Warren or Colston Loveland in this draft. I'm not saying nothing against the tight ends that you like, but I believe there's a gap. So I don't think you'll see another tight end go in the first round outside of Sadiq. Mm-hmm. I don't think the Chiefs will go that way because I think they still feel that they have something in Wiley and perhaps in Brenningstool. So they don't go that way. So again, just to make a long story longer, Mauigoa, the two guys from Miami, the offensive tackle / guard, or the other edge rusher that let's get his name. And so I would say either those guys, if they get rid of Trent, a corner that they like. I don't know if they like the kid from Tennessee. There's others out there certainly that you can make a case for. Cisse from South Carolina, Hood, the other corner at Tennessee, Terrell from Clemson. I think was he on your gold jacket list?
From Clemson, yeah.
Corner Avion Terrell.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I'd say
there's a number of ways they can go. That's what makes this so intriguing is that if they are in the top 12, which they're going to be, there's going to be you think they were hives last year in terms of, okay, I want this guy, I want that guy. There's going to be about 12 different players, I think, that people are going to say that's the guy we have to have.
Yeah, I just say if they do go somebody, you know what I mean, everybody know. I'd say I'd say at 10 if he's sitting there, you know what I mean, because I don't think no offensive line. I think the offensive line would be fine. You know what I mean, with the guys they got coming back. I know we've seen these last games, but those practice squad guys.
If Juwan Taylor is a cap casualty, if you would. Mm-hmm. And they can't restructure and can't do anything, and they just want to move on, take the cap hit, and save a little money on this year's cap. Now they'll have some dead money moving forward, but maybe they save some cash. Who's your starting right tackle? You think?
They got him, Jalen Moore.
You think Jalen Moore will be the guy?
I think he'll be your guy. You know what I mean? That's the guy that you paid. You know what I mean? You paid him for 2 years. You already drafted them. I think that's what I
I get that. The only thing I would say, as far as an argument to that might be that, okay, we know what he can do. He'll be our swing tackle. We have him under contract for 1 more year. We can get a guy that we have under contract control for 4 years minimum, and it's not that much for a right tackle if they believe that Mauioga is that guy. Mm-hmm. Or some other offensive tackle, but I don't know if there's any that are going to be pushed up that high. There are plenty out there, but the bottom line is this kid is a mauler. There's a kid from Utah, actually two tackles from Utah that'll probably go in the first round. Who was it? Fanu is the one. They both have short names. They may be Samoans, Pacific Islanders, or whatever. But, if they like those guys, so it'll give them some flexibility on the offensive line. And then also, in case they get injured, what do they really think of Esa Pole? Is this just kind of a, hey, we have to put somebody out there, or do they feel like this kid can be developed? Chu Godric, can he elevate? Is this a good enough of an audition? They say, hey, we're good here. So it'll be interesting. It really will.
I'll say this. If Jeremiah Love is off the board, he's off the board at 10. I think the offense, like I said before, I think the offensive line will be fine.
There you go, John. I'm sorry, John Harrison. It's Akeem Mesidor. This kid could, I think he's played himself into the first round. Mm-hmm. Defensive end from the U. Sorry.
Yeah,
Thanks, John.
I think their offensive line be fine with Kingsley, Humphrey, and Smith, and Josh Simmons, and they put Moore on the other side. If Love is there, that will be a no-brainer at 10. But if he's not, I'm going Cardell Tate. From Iowa
Well,
State.
In that scenario, he was already picked.
I kind of started it over. I didn't like Love was missing off the board. I switched it back. But it's our flash. It's no correct. If we want to start it over and we want to have a guy that we want there, we can start it over, Luke.
You showed me what was available, so I was why bring it up then? What are you doing? Look, the Bengals took him.
I know, but if he's not there, would you go? If Love is not there at 10, would you go Tate and get?
I don't know if Love was there. I'm taking him. It's not because I don't like him as a player or whatever. I think it's just positional value. I don't know if you pass on somebody that you could potentially have for 10 years versus a guy that you might only have for 4 or 5. Right. So that's where it gets a little weird, because again, you hope you're not picking this high again. And there may be some other running backs later that could potentially be as good as him, or maybe in free agency they get somebody that they like better. But I think Carnell Tate certainly would be in the mix if he's available, for sure. I mean, he could be that number 1 receiver that they're still looking for, quite frankly.
Well, in this flash mock, who you going to take before we can move on to the next round? We're going to do a little quick flash mock. So who would you take, best man on the board, or what are you going to go? Just for
okay. So all right. So who's available? Mendoza, we're not taking him. Tate's there. Lemon's there. Lomu. Well, there's Lomu and Fano. Yeah, you got 2 guys and then Mauioga. Those are the offensive linemen. I'll just because I want explosive players, I may go Carnell Tate here.
All right, going Carnell Tate. Before we get in that, do you guys in a chat? Do y'all agree? Do y'all agree that if that pick was there, and, before we go into the second round, do y'all agree? Do y'all agree that if that flash pick was there, Tate was there, Love wasn't there? We take a guy there, just to build this 22. So we're going to do a quick flash. This is our little quick flash. It's not our final mock draft. We just doing something just to, I don't think we have to over-explain, Hense. We're good. I think
everybody's all right. I'm sure, based on last season, we'll do a couple thousand mock drafts between now and the draft. That's for sure.
Okay,
and at some point we will have picked everybody potentially available in the first round.
All right, so we pick it at 44 in this draft. You know what I mean? And these are the guys that's on the board. What you think? We addressed the wide receiver need. What do you think they should go here? Offensive line, D tackle, corner. What you want to look at?
Okay, I typically don't look at the position over, just as, okay, that's where I'm going. This particular position, who's the next guy up? I'm not doing that. I'm looking just at as the team. What are we trying to accomplish here? Explosive players, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we took a wide receiver. Now we've taken wide receivers high in the past. That might be a little overkill, right? I like Jadarian Price a lot. If they're really looking running back, if they don't sign somebody in free agency as a running back, that's certainly one that I'm going to consider in this spot. Jadarian Price. I think somebody put Nick Singleton out there. Katron Allen, also from Penn State. Guys that might be a little forgotten about, especially Nick Singleton, because coming in as a freshman. Now, again, I'm from Pennsylvania, so I might be a little bit biased about these Penn State guys, but they're damn good running backs. Okay. Nick Singleton, maybe he didn't have the year. Penn State didn't have the year. Those guys certainly, would be worth consideration here. If there's an interior defensive lineman, if we've decided that O-line we're kind of good, maybe we take another developmental guy later in the draft. But for right now, let's get somebody that could come in and play right away. Was a kid from Missouri or Oregon, I would say. There are a couple of D
Washington.
linemen.
I like Washington from Oregon. That's the ones you're talking about here. Washington.
Amari Washington. That could certainly be one. Who else? Caden McDonald from Ohio State. It looks like he may have gone already.
Let's see the cornerbacks
that I highlight.
Say edge.
Kristen Miller.
I will go here.
Kristen Miller from Georgia.
I'll go. I'll go.
So this is DJ's brother. This guy was supposed to be like the best quarterback in the country. He started out at Clemson. They went to Florida State, then Oregon. The guy's been at like 5 different programs. I don't know if he's draft eligible yet, but his brother is a pretty damn good edge rusher from Oregon. So our Mason Thomas, that's another one. He got injured for Oklahoma, but that could certainly be one that the Chiefs look at. So, hey, if you want to go with Uiagalelei, sure, why not?
Yeah, we went there. So, hey, what are y'all thinking right now? Some people in the chat, I think somebody said we need an explosive wide receiver, and we took Take there. I think Take will be, because you look at Rashee Rice, like you just said before this even started, Xavier Worthy, not knowing how to stay in bounds. You got to know where scenario. You kind of looking like Nico Hardman all over again. If Tate can come in, I don't want to put that on him, but the more he plays, the more that's what it looks like. And if you've got Brashard Smith that's showing a pretty decent ability to return kicks and punts, what do you do with Worthy? Is he the number 3 receiver next year? Is Tyquan Thornton re-signed? What do you have in Jalen Royals? A lot of questions have to be answered. John, your love of Nicholas Singleton is noted and appreciated. I believe he will outplay his draft space just because of he had a kind of an off year this year. Many reasons for that. I don't know what the hell was going on in that program between the AD and Coach Franklin. It was just a mess. Gets fired in the middle of the season, which with the results, I can see that. But to your point, Singleton I think will definitely be a good NFL running back, as will Katron Allen, also from Penn State. But I like Jadarian Price. He's got some wiggle to him. Definitely has the speed. So
Yeah. So you can get running backs, that you can get later on. So that's why I don't think the Chiefs will pull the trigger on Jeremiah Love. I mean, he would be great, just what the doctor ordered, but that would be a luxury. That would be a luxury pick for them right now because they do have some holes in other positions, namely the defensive line and potentially defensive backfield. But again, they're not going to draft a safety at 10. The interesting question might be is if Caleb Downs falls and he's sitting there at 10, does Veach pull the trigger? Because that kid, you saw him at Alabama. He was great. Goes to Ohio State, absolutely a baller.
So do you think he gets in all over again?
He gets in Patricia's defense, and it's like hand and glove. Come on, man. That kid's going to be something. But again, it's positional value. You typically don't take safeties that high. I mean, even the Chiefs took some shit when they took Eric Berry at they picked him 5th overall.
Mm-hmm. Do you see some Eric Berry and Downs? You see like the player stuff?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, somewhat. I mean, maybe a little different. Eric might have been a little thicker in the torso, but Caleb Downs, just the mental part of the game is. I mean, it's next level. You watch him play, whether at Ohio State or Alabama, because Nick Saban coached the hell out of his defensive backs as well. So, yeah, I like the kid a lot. But again, in Veach's mind, I don't know that safety is going to have the value that like a supreme edge rusher or a corner or a number 1 wide receiver might have.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We gonna go more into our mock draft. We're gonna have that coming in this off season pretty soon. I was just want to test it out a little bit. To stir up the nest a little bit. But again, guys, the Raiders are coming up next. That's going to be our final game. We get to watch the Chiefs until we see them back in, training camp or, summer ball, like Luke like to say. But, hey, we got the draft coming up.
Free agency first. So I think that is going to tell a lot about where the Chiefs are looking draft wise and what they're willing to pay for in free agency. Now it didn't work out too well last year. Christian Fulton's starting to show some flashes, maybe the player that he can be, but he's done that his entire career, whether it was at LSU, with the Titans, with the Chargers. The talent is there. Again, it's just got to be able to put it together and be consistent with it. And so we'll see what happens there. What happens with T-Cuffs, right? Noel Williams looks like, there's a lot to work with there, and he could certainly be a player. And do they bring Jalen Watson back? A lot of questions, man. A lot of questions.
Also, the coaching staff, too. There's a lot of questions on the coach staff.
We have those. I don't know if the front office sees it that way. I really don't. I think they might have some conversations in terms of like some of the position coaches, like wide receiver, running back. I think Coach Merritt does a great job with these defensive backs. What he's been given to work with and what he's kind of turned some of these players into, the younger guys. Now, again, none of them have become superstars. T-Cuffs, first round pick, all pro, whatever. So you can say what you want about his size. He's always been that high. They picked him. So, he's done what he's been able to do. Jalen Watson, a 7th round pick, has elevated himself that he's probably earned a pretty decent sized contract from some team in the NFL, whether it's the Chiefs or somebody else. Brian Cook, say what you will. I mean, he's not the best. He's really not a coverage guy, but in terms of like that guy that can kind of come up and just drill people, maybe play a little decent in the back at times, kind of a free safety maybe. But yeah, so Dave Merritt, I think he'll stick around. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I like Joe Cullen. I don't know, maybe just the character that he is, and he's been known as a great defensive line coach. So I don't know that that's a problem. I think it's just been a lack of talent at the position, quite frankly, outside of Chris Jones. So I don't think you can put that on his lap. So I think the offensive coaches, that's where we're looking, and I think that's where you'll see some moves.
Yeah. So with that said, guys, we want to thank you guys for joining in. We hope you guys had a nice Christmas. We'll be back Monday with Harold. Always naughty. That's what they said. The Grinch.
So good at being naughty.
So let the Chiefs go play the Raiders, and we'll see you guys on Monday with Harold, Nick, and me and Lou. And hey, hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Have a blessed one.
Loyal to the team, every victory we slay. Chiefs Blitz podcast where the real fans unite. Every touchdown score, we ignite the night. From tailgate chatter to post-game debate, we love our Chiefs, yeah, it's never too late. So tune in live, don't miss the hype. Chiefs Blitz podcast, it's what we type.